What if I told you that as of today, let's be clear, as of October 19th, 2023, I could tell you a way to get rates lower than conventional? Yes, folks, most people think that conventional lending is always the lowest rates, and they'd be usually right. But today, there is a way that you can get rates that are lower than conventional. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you guys price loans today. So tell me what's going on.
Yeah, so it's as of this morning, DSCR rates. Now, this was for a very, specific, sort of factor that I'll throw in so everybody can hear. This was a client that I had trying to buy a $1.2 million triplex in Bend, Oregon. He was putting 30% down, 720 credit score. We priced him out right now on a DSCR loan at 7.5. Whereas the conventional, we were at 8.1. Now, this is our, par rates, and obviously there's going to be differences in terms of like
Oh.
how much does it cost to buy down the rate for both. But right now, it's very interesting to see that on our rate sheets as of today, DSCR par rates are actually lower than conventional rates.
So I want to rewind the clock. So you and I have been talking, all three of us have been talking for well over a year. DSCR loans, I seem to us remember a time where they were 100 basis points higher. Most of our time, they were like half a point higher. Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there were times where they've like kind of done the inverse type situation, but I think this
Okay.
is the first time that it's been as big of a difference in terms of the spread.
We're talking 60 base. I mean, that's more than half a percent. That's, 7.5 versus 8.1. That's significant.
Yeah, the most we've seen usually like an eighth or quarter point DSCR being better. Or sometimes, for a good part of the last year, they've been pretty much
Even.
within it
Yeah.
for a quarter. But to see this spread right now,
Yeah.
conventional is following obviously the treasury and the market a little bit more so than your DSCR, Wall Street investors. But it doesn't mean that next week when we do this show that there's
Yeah,
a
it could be
hundred.
different next week. I was very clear on the date. I wanted everybody to hear this. October 19th, 2023. It could change tomorrow, but as of today, that's true. It's really interesting because I don't think a lot of people understand. Conventional is influenced by the 10-year treasury, and I'll call it big banks. DSCR is really a Wall Street product. Is that a fair categories?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, the buyers, there's always the buyers, right? And every loan gets sold. People like to put a negative connotation to it, but it's just how it works. They package it up and sell it. Obviously for conventional, Fannie Freddie's the biggest buyer on the secondary market for them. And then for DSCR non-QM, it's Wall Street, it's insurance companies. Like these are the people that are buying it, like mostly, not Fannie Freddie.
It's pretty interesting because again, I've been doing this a long time. The one of the biggest buyers of real estate, certainly Class A real estate, was insurance companies. A lot of it, unfortunately, was Class A office, which obviously is taking it on the chin. But they used to get into those products hoping for a 5% kind of blended yield, right, or cap rate. Went as low as 3.5, but they usually historically was 5%. Now they can get 7.5 in
Yeah.
a DSCR loan that has 30% equity. Even if the property got hit, the first 30% suffered by the buyer, right? Their loan's not impacted until it goes down 31% or thereabouts. So it's wild to think that Wall Street's excited by 7.5. That might mean something.
That's the whole the whole point of bringing that up, that I thought was important, is that normally, and this isn't anything against any Fed officials or government work, but
Sure, I'm
normally
sure.
Wall Street's one step ahead and smarter,
But
than obviously sort of your Fannie Freddie conventional back end buyers. So hopefully that's a good sign.
yeah, so I'm just trying to play this out in real time because we don't prep our shows. So might Wall Street be saying there's a recession right around the corner, call it first half of next year, where the Fed's going to have to come in and cut rates? I think right now the market is calling 3 rate cuts next year, and they're like, "Hey, we want to go get as much of this 7.5% money we can." Yeah, it could get higher at 8, but that's only going to be like a little window, and you're going to get a lot of refi risk. Um, So I think they're happy at 7. I think 7.5 reduces refi risk. That might be why they're doing it. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's funny you say that because when I was in Vegas this past time, one of the speakers was like the SVP chief economist of Fannie Mae, and he was talking about how
Doug Duncan, I think his name is.
Yeah. They're estimating that a recession is around the corner.
Right.
And they think that rate cuts might start happening Q3 or Q4 of next year.
Yeah. Okay.
When we're talking about rate cuts, again, we're talking about the federal funds rate. So the effect
Yes,
on
right.
mortgage interest rates may not be as drastic, but that's what they're estimating and that's what they're planning for. So I think that we're all kind of on the same page here. We just need to kind of make it through this time and write good deals.
Yeah,
Using
great deals, Jonathan. Great deals.
great, amazing deals. On what's available right now, which we
Yeah.
just be flexible with the market, right? So if it's DSCR that's better this time, do the DSCR. If it's conventional that's better another time, we'll do the conventional, right? We're just kind of flexible with it to get the best product for that specific property instead of kind of having like a general sense of like this is the best across the board, just do this, right?
Yeah. One thing I want to make sure, Dustin, just so I don't miss it and mislead the audience. This 7.5 DSCR loan, 30% down, 720 credit score. That was 30-year fix, right?
That was 30-year fix. I mean, you have the option. I won't get into too much, but you could do it with the first 10 years as interest only, like a lot of people do.
But it wasn't some 5-1 arm or something like that.
No, but what's important is to get the lowest rate, and we've said this, a lot, is you got to make sure that the DSCR is above 1. In this case, it was above 1.1. Okay.
Nice.
And that was the current rents, the current tenants actually in there. He found a seller that really needed to sell, got it obviously about 100, I think it was like 120 below the list price. Tenants already in there. It was a clean off-market deal. Like it was, one of those that
motivated sellers exist. Right? Yeah. Great offers. Yeah.
This is kind of like a curveball, but it's something interesting that I priced out because I've been pricing out a lot of big LA deals. And obviously with the market being where it's at, we're kind of in a weird place where we kind of already know that rates probably we're like kind of at the top and we're not going to go even higher up potentially, right? Allegedly, that much higher up. And there's a little bit of extra like lenience on the downside. What I've been kind of presenting to clients, and I know you hate this, is the 6-month ARM option. Because I priced out yesterday a full doc portfolio and par rate was 6.125.
Wow.
So, on a 6-month ARM. And it's a 215 cap. So it's like it's not going to go up higher than 2% the first on month 7 and then 1% every single 6 months after. But that's assuming that rates will continue to go up, right?
Right.
If rates don't go up, right, there's a little bit of less risk, right? If people are willing to play the market, there's a little bit of less risk to roll the dice now at a 6.25, 6.125 right now than there is, there might have been 6 months ago or a year ago. Because now, if rates go up, then you're at market rate, right? If rates come down, then you're going to be at 6 1/8, and you're not going to really be worried about refinancing at least until the 30-year hits 6 1/8 or 6 1/8, right? I thought that was kind of crazy. I priced it out yesterday on a big LA property, a triplex, and I was like, this is kind of nuts. And it's 25% down. So I'm like, this is kind of a rare opportunity window where if you wanted to kind of bet against the market and bet that the market will not go up any further, it might be the best time to do this rather than like any time before. Yeah. Right. You might just stay at 6 1/8 the whole time.
Maybe.
And the next year, and that saves you like that, like at least 24 grand on a $1,000 monthly payment versus an 8.25, or a 7.5. So, yeah.
Well, I think the key, what you and Dustin offer, Jonathan, is options, right? You offer conventional DSCR. You have other programs that you guys have created. I think people that are doing the work, they're finding the motivated sellers. They're getting 120K off of list price. Sometimes it's working with a mortgage professional that will give them options. And you're right. I would never do that deal. But I'm not every buyer. maybe people want to roll the dice. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you guys and run through options, review their deal, how do they do that?
Go to convoyhomeloans.com and let us know you came from ORAT.
Folks, tell them you came from ORAT. So you get one of these two fine gentlemen. You could thank them for giving us time each and every week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.